What's going on, guys? Welcome to Wednesday night build and chat with me, your host Brandon, coming to you from Squadron.com. Obviously, I'm not at Squadron or at the warehouse tonight. Coming to you from my house, again from the laptop. Didn't really have too much planned, but definitely wanted to jump on here and hang out with you guys tonight. I've got a few kits. I got a couple of Christmas presents. I hope you did too. So it's really good to be here tonight. Good to see everybody. And tonight, just like last week, I'm streaming not only to YouTube, which according to this is where most of you are, but we are also streaming to the Squadron Facebook page, Facebook Live, the Free Time Hobbies Facebook Live page, the Twitter or X page, I think is Squadron or Squadron Signal Publications. I forget what it's called. And tonight we are also trying out the Instagram Live at Squadron's Instagram page and also Free Time Hobbies Instagram page. So I don't know how that goes, how it works, but we're making it up as we go every week, and we'll see how that works out for us. So last week I had some people ask me, they saw some comments pop up on the screen. I answered questions that were coming from another platform, like say you were watching at Facebook. Well, I answered a question that came in from YouTube, so people never saw the questions, but they saw my answer and they were wondering what I was answering. So I'm working through all this, trying to figure out how it all works, how to answer questions perhaps specifically to a certain channel and not answer questions that you never got to see the question. But like I said, we're working it out, and I appreciate your support. And as we grow this Wednesday night build and chat session each week, so got a lot of interesting things going on, and we'll talk about that all in a minute. Let me say hello to everybody that is in the chat. Let's see, we've got Wolf 103 from Texas. Howdy to you too, buddy. James from Montana, and the lawn care novice is back again from Arkansas. And Wes, howdy to you down in Florida. JL from California, nice to see you. And Gabriel and James and Rob, Dennis, Stuart, back again, buddy. I appreciate all the emails this week with the ideas. And I did look into what we were talking about, and I figured out a way to do it. And it's coming soon in 24. I just don't know when. But good ideas, lots of great ideas, actually. So, Randy, hello to you too. Carlos, always good to see you, my friend. Arnell, nice to see you out in California. Let's see. And Jason, the first one to answer the question that I haven't even asked yet, but it was in the title of this video. So, the title of the video was, what did you get for Christmas? Did you get any model kits? And I'd love to see them, love to hear about what you got. And Jason says he got a couple of Gundam models. And that's awesome. A funny story about the Gundam stuff. So you may or may not know, we don't sell Gundam at Squadron yet. But we just got a small shipment of them in last week. Very small. I don't know, probably less than 2 dozen kits. And I don't know very much about Gundam, so I'm learning. My brother, he works with us as well, Jared, and he's a little bit more interested in that type of models than I am. So I'm hoping he will shed some light on all of us on how to figure out what these things are and how to get them. But the funny thing is, what we got in was actually some of the display stands that the Gundams are, they hook to, hang on, display on, whatever. And we had a guy and his son come in a couple of days ago and shop through the warehouse. And I don't even have these things listed yet. And his son goes back, picks one of them up, and he couldn't believe we had it. And of course came up and he bought it. He was happy to see it there. So I'm thinking, wow, these things are obviously popular to the younger crowd, and that's great. A model is a model, and whatever your taste in models, whether it be the aircraft, the tanks, the ships, or the cars, the sci-fi stuff, or the Gundams, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, a model is a model, and I'm happy to be able to provide whatever the type of model is to the customer. So that was just great. So Jason, glad you got those kits. Glad to know that's what you're into. So and hello to everybody else in the chat tonight with us as well. I want to go ahead and show you a couple things that I got. One of the, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was streaming here from the house and I had all the new kits and a couple of restock things set up around the tree. I I mentioned one of the things that I really wanted, because as I continue to talk about, and unfortunately, if you're not interested, I'm going to continue talking about it for a few weeks because it's going to take me that long to finish the thing. But my 35th scale Dora that I've been working on, once it's finally done, it's going to need a companion. And I guess my wife listened to me, and she brought me the 35th scale Leopold gun. So this will be a very cool kit, sitting next to the door. It's a large kit. It's very big when it's built, very impressive. The unfortunate part is the Dora is going to dwarf it. It's not going to look near as impressive, but by itself, it's a big kit. So I was excited about that. Last week, I showed you the new X Plus Vampirilla, the pink glow edition, and I had a lot of, I mentioned some of their other universal licensed kits and had a lot of people ask about how the Revenge of the Creature kit is. Well, it just so happens that I happen to get one of those as well. So I have it out with me tonight, and this is it. It's a very cool box. All of the X Plus kits, the owner of X Plus, and they're a Japanese company, the owner is a very big fan of the original Aurora monster kits. And if you are into that and you have or have seen any of those, you know that this box is very reminiscent of the old Aurora style. So much so that he even uses the same type of plastic wrapping to wrap these kits. So it's just a very, very cool presentation. And the model kits themselves are very nicely done too. This particular one is molded in green. It's just a cool kit. So if this is your thing and you like the monster kits, these are 1/8 scale. So they fit right in with the old classic monsters. Just some really neat stuff. So pick one of those up if you haven't. If you've been on the fence about getting one, wondering if the quality is good, it is. The presentation's good. The box is good. It's sturdy. It's wrapped very nicely. So if you're not going to build it and you want to collect it, it's a great collector's kit. I had a guy just a day or two ago call. He ordered the Vampirilla, the new one, and he said, I'll pay extra. He wanted us to wrap it in bubble wrap, and because he's going to collect. He's not even going to open it. So it's just some really neat stuff. And that's pretty much what I got. I don't need to get a lot. I kind of know a warehouse right down the road that when I need my next kit, I can grab it. But I hope that you all got quite a bit more than I did. And I really hope you bought it from me. So just go ahead and put in the live chat there. What did you get? What's your kit that you got for Christmas, or your kits, your favorite one? What did you not get that you were hoping to get that you perhaps will buy yourself this year or this coming year? Love to see what you guys are into. And while I wait for you to answer that a little bit, I wanted to show you this again. I showed it last week, but this Ming kit, this Audi R8, I showed it last week, or showed the box, and it's really neat. The box is cool, but this week I had a chance to actually look inside, and I don't build very many car models. In fact, I don't know if I have built a single car model. Built a couple. Well, I take that back. If you include Batmobiles, I've built those. And if you include 4x4 trucks, I've built those. But race cars, not so much my thing. But this kit has really been attractive to me. It's a really cool, nice looking car. And when the box came in, I was just like, wow, that's cool. So I was looking at it. It's just a really, really cool car. I don't know much about it. I just started reading up about it. And it's just a pretty interesting machine. So the kit itself is very nice. So if you're a car guy and you like these types of race cars, this is a must-have kit. It's very nice. Just if you've had any of Ming's kits, and they've done a few cars in with all of their military stuff, and everything they do is really nice. But like I said, newest car release from Ming, very nice done. Check it out if that's your thing. Oh, and I lied. I did get another thing for myself. This came in, and I showed it off last week, but again, after looking inside of it and realizing that it too can be a part of my Dora diorama. I had to have one of these. So check this out. This is one of ICM's new releases. This is a 35th scale mobile filled kitchen. And this is just odd and weird enough that I just had to take it out, take a look. And, of course, like I always say, ICM's kits are top notch. So if you see a certain kit, a certain subject that you like, it's going to be a good kit. But this one is just really neat. And it really fits the bill for what I want to do with my hopefully upcoming soon diorama. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, I was planning on doing one of these little field kitchens because you can see those. There's a few manufacturers that have done them, but I've never seen it done quite like this with the truck. And however you pronounce that, I'm not even going to try. But it's got a cool little, if I can find it, a cool little decal sheet that's got a lot more on it than I was expecting for a kit like this to have. So got a lot going on there. So be able to paint it up, mark it, and weather it real good. So just another neat little kit from ICM. So check it out. Get you one. Now, this next kit that I want to show you, it's not new. And I'm going to see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick. But this kit is not new. It was released at the IPMS Nationals this year out in Texas. And we had, I don't know how many of them we had. We sold every one of them out at the show, and people didn't even know about it. It's kind of an odd thing, but at the time it was released, it was kind of all over the news. But this is from CMK, or Special Hobby, and it's a 72 scale Titan mini sub, and they classify it as the world famous research and tourist submarine. Now, like I said, at the time that Nationals was this summer, this was kind of a popular subject to talk about, for better or for worse, mostly worse. And but the kit, I don't know, the guys over at Special Hobby, they did this. It's a 3D printed kit, so it's resin 3D printed. And like most other 3D kits, it comes with the supports on it. So all this stuff is meant to be cut off. But if this is something that you're interested in, for whatever reason you have interest in it, it's a very nice done kit. It's very, very easy. You got the main body, you've got the front, and then the window is also done as a clear piece. So that's there. And then they've got a small decal sheet. So just one of those things that you may or may not have any interest at all, but wanted you to know about it. So that's a neat little kit that Special Hobby knocked out this summer. Now you know. All right. So hello, midlife crisis to you too, buddy. Good to see you. James says he got the 24th scale Gemini spacecraft. That's a cool kit. I've seen that. Good luck with the build. That should turn out very nice. Let's see. Rick, Tamiya F-14, is it the 32 scale one? Do they have more than one? Yeah, that'll be cool. Do you know what markings you're going to do it in yet? Wes got the 251 half track with the Pack 40. That's a very cool kit and a very interesting subject. This year, a few months ago, Trumpeter released a 1/16 scale 251 half track. And one of the other this is a new product. This is not for me. I don't have one of the kits. So I'm trying to hold myself to 35th scale for now. But I got to show this to you because one of the brands that we carry for aftermarket photo etch sets is Pontos Models. And Pontos Models has for the longest time been primarily, and they still are primarily, ship models. They do these, the super deluxe, everything all inclusive upgrade sets that for a 350th scale upgrade set can cost anywhere from one to two to $300. Some of the 200 scale sets for battleships, which we're going to talk about the newest one in just a minute, these things can get up to two, three, four, five, even $600 for these upgrade sets. And at first, you might think it's crazy, and it is. That's a lot of money. It really is. But when you really start looking at what's included, it's a heck of a awesome set. You look at whether it's Edward or whatever your brand of photo etch preference is. It's nothing for a photo etch fret to be 10 or 20 or $30, depending on what it is and how big. Well, these boxes, as you'll see in a minute, they are slap full of sometimes dozens of photo etch frets, 3D printed parts, turned barrels, turned masts, tapered masts, everything that you can possibly imagine that you would normally buy as an aftermarket are shoved in these boxes, and that's what really runs the prices up. But anyway, back to the 16th scale half track. One of their newest releases is a set for that trumpeter half track. And this is an engine detail upset, as they call it, specifically designed to use and fit for the trumpeter kit. And it's a really, really nice box, as something this expensive. And actually, I don't know what the price is on this yet. I didn't get around to adding this today. This will be on the website tomorrow. Don't know how many of them we have, but if you want one, grab it. We'll get more, but it'll be a few weeks. But this thing, if you can even see it on my screen. Was that upside down? Sorry. You can see it's got so much going on. That's the instructions to build it. Here are all of the parts that are included. So this thing is slap full of upgrades for you to make an absolutely gorgeous engine for this kit. Now, all of the parts in it that are not brass, that look like resin, they're 3D printed. And I know you can't really tell from the video about this. I want to take this out, take really good pictures of this, so you can really see the details. So when I get this posted up on the website tomorrow, I will have really nice pictures for you to see. So sometime tomorrow, probably after lunch, make sure to take a look. This will be posted on the front page of the site. But I just wanted you to see there's just so much included in this set. And this is not a $500 set, by the way. It's relatively inexpensive compared to other Pontos things. But for what it is, it's really nice. Dry transfers. So really nice stuff from Pontos. And I'm happy to see them venturing out a bit outside of the ships. So check that out. If you've got one of those trumpeter kits, it would be a nice and welcome upgrade for you. And Rob, that is a very good point, and I hear that a lot, and not just with Gundam. So there's another type of model kit that it is a model kit. You cut parts off of a sprue and you put them together and you paint them, but we don't consider them in the the IPMS world usually as model kits. You don't see them very often at contests. You do sometimes, but I'm talking about the Warhammer gaming figures. Now, a lot of that stuff these days has gone to 3D printed, but they still make their plastic injection kits. And that was actually, as you refer to the Gundam being yours, that was my gateway drug when I was a kid. The first model kits that I remember building were Warhammer figures, and this was back, I guess, when the game started back in the 90s. I guess that's when it started. That's when I was building them. And that really got me acquainted, I guess you could say, with model kit glue, model kit paint, all the things that I use all the time now. So it's interesting to hear you say that about the Gundam kits being that for you. So what's the gateway drug, so to speak, for my oldest son right now is Lego kits. And some of those Lego kits, man, I built Legos when I was a kid, but the Lego sets that he's building, and they're actually not Lego brand. They are other brands of the same thing. And he just got done doing I think the brand is Corgi, and it's a 1/300 scale USS Missouri battleship. This thing is awesome. I wish I had that type of Lego sets when I was a kid. What they're able to do with these now is awesome. He came up to my shop in the afternoons, a couple of times a week over the last few weeks, and he built this thing, and it looks awesome. So one night I'm going to have him come on the show with me. He wants to show it off to you guys. He's very proud of it. And what's really cool is his aunt and uncle got him a Dora railgun Lego set, or it's not Lego, but a block set for Christmas. So he's pretty thrilled about that. So while I'm building my Dora model kit, he's building his Dora Lego set. And I have no clue what scale it is, but I don't know, maybe it's somewhere around 144 scale or something. I don't know. But it's pretty neat. So that's really got him in the mindset of building things. So he's starting to ask me, he's been painting 3D figures, but now he's starting to ask me, a little bit more questions about my models I'm building and asking me about my tools and all this stuff. So uh, we'll get there. He's 11, so he'll be building models probably better than me before I know it soon. So that's going to be cool. Michael says he is building a Panther G. Well, that would be cool. And a Boeing 757. That's another thing that I find very impressive when you guys build these airliners. It's almost, when you do the finishes on them and stuff, it's almost like some of the car models that I see. And perhaps that's why I don't build very many cars. I'm not that good at doing the painting and the finishing that's required to, or well, I say required, that you would like to have to make it look like a real car. The same thing with some of these airliners I see you guys doing. Uh, it's just very impressive and very neat. And so have fun with that build. That'll be a lot of fun. I'd love to see it when you get done. Good evening to you too, Matt. Ah, yes, the wish list. Yeah, print that sucker out and give it to everybody you know and tell them to get you some stuff. It's a lot of fun uh, loading the wish list up, and even more fun when you can get something off of it. Yeah, the man, those are both really good kits. So the P-47, did you opt for the standard one or the deluxe one? Curious to know which one of those you got from me. Now they're both good kits. They're nothing wrong with either, but just curious if you're one of the crazies like me that's going to try to go all out with the detail. Let's see. That is a very good question, Jason, coming to us from Facebook. Am I going to be at the Chattanooga show next weekend? Yes, and I will be there vending. We've got a big booth, and I will be there. Um, I don't know who else is coming yet. I'm pretty sure my dad Russ will be there. I think my brother will be there with me, and I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, definitely come check it out. It's one of my favorite shows, uh, and I say that all shows are great, but I say that because that was the club that I was a member of for a while, back before I had a wife and 3 kids. Now it's kind of a haul for me to get to a meeting that's an hour and a half away from me. Perhaps I'll get back over there one of these days and show up for a meeting. That it was a lot of fun. I remember going out and eating steak after the meetings. That was a heck of a lot of fun. But I love that club. I love the show. It's the first show of the year, so it really kicks off the year for modeling for me. Going and seeing all the models in the contest, it really gets me excited for building my own models. So definitely looking forward to that. That's next weekend, by the way, January 4th and 5th at the Chattanooga Convention Center in Tennessee. So if you're anywhere around in the area and didn't know about the show, make sure to check it out. It's a good time. And then the other show you're referring to, the Atlanta show, yes, I will be at the Atlanta IPMS show, and also the Atlanta Figure Society show, which is coupled with the AMPS, Atlanta AMPS chapter show. So we will be at both of those shows as well. So come out, check it out, bring some models, come buy some models from me. We'll have some to pick from. And it's going to be a good time. So that's how we're going to kick off this year with shows. Those are our local shows around here, and we'll see what else pops up throughout the year. We've got a few others that we're going to. We're going to the AMPS National Convention this year, and we're going to Wonderfest in Louisville, and we will, of course, be at the IPMS Nationals up in Wisconsin this year. So that is our tentative show schedule for this year, and we may be able to add others to it. I wish I could go to all of them. I really do, but just getting away from the shop on a weekend, taking the inventory, it's some work. I do it because I love it, and I like seeing you guys. I like bringing the models to you, but I just can't do as many of them as I used to be able to. So, but next weekend's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see a lot of you there. And Matt, I agree with you. That is going to be one of my favorite releases this year. That is hands down my favorite aircraft, and I'm just very excited about that. We are trying to get some decal sheets done that we've been working on, and I don't know if we'll have them ready for the release of the B-24, which is, fingers crossed, supposed to be the end of January. It could roll over into the beginning of February, but we're excited about that. I hope to have at least one of our decal sets ready for launch, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. But they are in process, and we're excited about that. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Got some Santa toys. That's awesome. Good to hear. And looks like you are like probably most of the rest of us. You have multiple areas of interest, 48 scale military trucks and 25th scale cars. So that's awesome. Have fun with those. And I look forward to seeing it when you're done. If you want to send me some pictures, always love seeing what you guys are building. Arnell, the AH-64D. I don't know off the top of my head when those are going to be here. It's supposed to be here in January. We've got so much stuff coming in January, but give me a call tomorrow and I can look up the status and let you know. But hope to get all that stuff to you soon. That Ryefield M4A3, I think those showed up. So if you don't have it yet, you should be getting it soon. Unless you ordered all that together on the same order, that could be what it's waiting on. But give me a call tomorrow. We'll check it out and look it up. And if I can split those off and get something coming to you this week, I'll do what I can for you. All right, let's see. And yes, Dennis, going back to that special hobby kit a little while ago, that is exactly what that could be used for. So. Oh man, yeah, midlife chaos. I gotta give it up to the guys in the warehouse. They worked really hard last week. Santa's elves, I guess we can say, and we got everything out the door. And most things should have, assuming the post office and UPS did what they said, everything was supposed to get to everybody for Christmas. So I hope it did. If there was some stragglers that showed up a day or two late, I apologize, but we did the best we could, and I appreciate everybody's patience with us while we got all that in the mail. Oh, okay, the 48 scale. That's cool. Yeah, there's a heck of a lot of different choices for sure. So have fun picking it out. Are any model companies going to adjust for the popularity of 3D printing? So, yes, and a lot of them already have. So companies like Special Hobby, like I was showing this a minute ago, a lot of kits now, small kits and especially accessories, they are 3D printed, and that's how they come. Whereas used to they would have made a master either by hand or by 3D printing it and making a mold and casting it in resin. You're seeing more and more companies just print stuff and sell it direct. We're even doing it. The Blue Ridge Models accessories line, we print those straight off the printer, clean them up, pack them up. We've got a new line of figures coming. Some of you may have seen the Birds of War figures that are based on nose art, a World War II nose art. One of them is out. You may have got a copy. We've got several others planned. Those are 3D printed. We've got some 35th scale military figures that are planned. So a lot of companies are doing that. The Ponto stuff I was showing you a minute ago, and we're going to look at this in a minute. This is my favorite thing to talk about. So we're saving it for a minute. But a lot of the companies like Pontos, all of their accessories and their upgrades are all 3D printed. Now, what you're asking about the possibility of making STLs of their kits, if you're asking, are they going to sell the STL so you can print them yourself? Some companies are, some companies are not, and I can understand both ways. If you sell your file, you can make money on that file one time. The opposite side of the coin, if they sell that file, for example, I've got a 20 millimeter set that we print and we sell Blue Ridge Models, and we sell a lot of them. It's very popular. We try to sell it for a good price. I've got the file; it's mine. So every time I've got to build ships, I print however many I need. So I can understand from a modeler's point of view why you would want the file, but from the factory's point of view, if they can print it and sell you the copy, they can sell it a lot more and make more money. Now, the reason that this works for them is because as popular as 3D printers are, there's still a lot of people that don't have one. Is everybody going to have one day? Perhaps. But if you have one, you know that they're not the cleanest things. You can do a good job to keep it clean and not be messy. But one little spill, you've made a big mess. So perhaps if you don't have a modeling room, or you, like me, you don't have a shed out back that your wife doesn't come into and sees the resin that I spilled everywhere. If you don't have the option of having your own printer, this makes sense. But there are a lot of companies out there that sell the files. There's a lot of places that you probably are a member of that there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of different files that you can buy and print. It is a lot of fun. I enjoy it myself. But as far as most of the companies that we sell for, like Pontos, they don't offer their files. You can't buy their files and print it yourself. So most of the companies that sell the end result, they print it and they sell you the physical copy. Most of those, at least the ones that we represent, I don't think that they offer files for sale, at least at this point. That could change in the future. I mean, this is kind of the latest, greatest thing. It's really popular. It's gaining more popularity. And the bigger the machines get, the bigger pieces you're able to print. So it's really interesting. And the model companies that we talk with and deal with, they know that, this is the future. So it will be interesting to see over the coming months and years how the model companies do adapt, because you're even seeing now some of the plastic kit companies, Special Hobby especially, and there's some other plastic kit companies that you will get whatever aircraft it is or whatever ship or whatever tank it is, and 95% of the kit will be plastic. You might get a little photo etch sprue, and then you might get a little 3D printed part. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's some things that you just can't make with injection plastic. So now that that's an option, some of these kits that you're getting, they're marketed as a plastic model kit, which they are, but in reality, it's really a multimedia kit. And that's been going on a long time now. It's kind of the normal for a plastic kit to include photo etch. Well, it is now becoming the normal for it also to include not only photo etch, but perhaps a couple of 3D printed parts. So it'll be interesting to watch and see how that continues to grow. And I don't know, we'll just have to see what happens with it. Let's see. How do I handle a missing sheet of PE from a Pontos kit? Well, if you will email me tomorrow and let me know what you are missing and where it's from and give me your order number so I can pull it up and have your address and all that, I will get it. Kim, the owner of Pontos, he's a good buddy of mine. We've known each other for a long time and I talk to him all the time. So I will let him know I need it. He'll send it to me and I'll ship it out to you. So it's pretty easy and he's pretty good about that. So sorry to hear that you were missing it. So, and Matt, yes, that is, I've seen that. I will definitely be watching that when it comes out. I saw the announcement and I'm excited to see how that goes. Looking forward to some trailers for that movie. So that'll be very cool. James working on a Churchill. That's cool. Oh, you've got the 72 scale hood turret. Man, those are really neat. Not I mean, the hood one is neat, but all of that large scale turret stuff, it's really kind of taken off lately and very interesting. I know that they at the if you like going to the model contest, the IPMS, the national contest, I think this year was the first year, if I'm not mistaken, might be the second, but I think it was the first year they added a category to the ship model category. I forget what the name of the category is. Naval development or something. It's basically a category that was kind of added to take all of these large scale things. It's not a full ship. It's just a turret, or it's just a catapult, or it's just a. I mean, Tacom did a an anchor. The large scale anchor from the Yamato. I think it was the Yamato. But so you've got all of these large scale portions of ships, and so it was really neat to see that this year. There was a few entries in that category, so it's really neat. So I'm glad you got that, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Joseph, don't worry because we're actually out of hats. We sold out, so I'm having some more made, and I hope to have them in the next week or two. Uh, we have there's a girl here locally that runs an embroidery shop. So we do them old school and low key. We don't produce thousands and thousands of them, so that's why the price is a little steeper than I'd like it to be. But they're really nice quality, and we will have some more of those very soon. So I appreciate the fact that you want one, and I look forward to getting one to you soon. We'll have the camo one, and we will also have just all black with the logo. So those will be back in stock soon. So look forward to getting one of those to you. Hopefully, I'll have them by Chattanooga with any luck. So we'll see. Yeah, Greg, please do. It's a good time, and I'd look forward to seeing you there. So no models for Randy this year or for Christmas. Well, that's all right. You've been busy doing book reviews, so all right. So you've got the B-25 detail in action. I think, unless you're talking about the older B-25 in action. So that'll be cool. I will make sure to go over and check out that review tomorrow. I'm looking forward to hearing what you had to say about it. Hey, that'll be awesome. Yeah, it'll be nice, Jason. It'll be nice to see. I hope you guys are going to bring some of your Gundam kits for the contest. That's I think that's an area that we don't need to shy away from because all the kids are into that, and it's a good way to get kids into the hobby. So I look forward to hopefully seeing all 8 of you, but I hope that you're going to bring some of your models for the contest. That'll be very cool to see. Yep, yep, it was a blast last year for sure. Um, you know, I think I know who you are now because I remember a guy last year at the show had some Gundam kits, and I met you. So assuming that was you, then I guess I'll see you again for the second time this year. That'll be nice to see you again. It looks like you're going to have some kits and a couple of armor kits. Awesome, great. That'll be fun. Yeah, Greg, those shows in Atlanta are a lot of fun. The AMP show is neat. I really enjoyed their new hotel that they moved to this year. And it's going to be at the same place again this year. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I really like those guys. So you gotta make sure to give Mike a hard time when you get there. He's a good guy and a good friend for sure. He puts on a good show, and the figure guys on their side do too. It's really neat to see two different clubs kind of come together and share a venue and put on a really nice show together. Um, it's really cool. It's always a fun show. Let's see. Stuart, am I going to have 3D printed versions of ships? Yes. So the the original Blue Ridge models, 700 scale ships that we did a few years back, they were all resin at the time. Now they started out as 3D prints because as 3D prints are done, they're designed in 3D on the computer and then you print them out. Well, 5 or 6 or 7, however long it will go. Well, heck, the Fort Drum was 10 years ago. So back then, 3D printing was not as accessible, I guess, and definitely not as cheap as it is now. Um, and so, what we would do back then, and to some extent still now, we would 3D print the hull, and the quality back then wasn't as good either. So we would have to 3D print it, and then it would take us several days, cleaning it up, sanding it, smoothing it out, making it, turning it into a nice master, and then we'd make a mold and resin cast from that. Well, I want to get all of our kits re-released, but they've been sitting in storage for so long. Uh, they're no good for using as a master now. I wouldn't want to make a new mold off of them. So we've got to 3D print them again anyway. So we're doing some work on the files, cleaning them up, getting them ready to 3D print again. All of the all of the small parts, everything but the hull, will most likely be 3D printed straight into the box. The hulls, we haven't decided yet. We just got our new printers, and they're large enough. I can do everything that we have, even the big 700 scale Normandy ocean liner. I can do everything in one piece. I just don't know if we're going to yet. We might, or we may resin cast the hulls, but we're definitely going to do all the small parts as 3D prints. And we're working on it as quick as we can. Just everything takes longer and costs more, unfortunately. So that's where we are with all of our 3D printed ships. And as you are familiar with the fact that we've got a new Blue Ridge Models kit in progress that we hope to launch in the first half of 2024. I hope to have it ready at least by nationals this year with any luck. But we're doing a 700 scale USS Lexington battle cruiser. And the version that we're doing is the as designed or as ordered or whatever, the original version, which is funny to say considering no versions ever existed. But that is going to be under the same scenario. Everything's going to be 3D printed. The hull may or may not be resin cast, but the cage masts, that's my favorite part about 3D printing because I'm a ship guy, is 3D printed cage masts. They just look so cool and light years better than photo etch. So it'll be neat to see what happens with it. Yeah, you know, we need to see. Do you remember who was it? Dragon had announced a 700 scale CVN 65, and of course, it never happened. Man, I'd love to see that finally get released. But we'll hope. But if you're referring to what we were talking to a little while ago, large scale stuff, there actually is a large scale, and I think it's 200 scale Enterprise Island made by the Forces of Valor Company. And it's we had one at the shop. They do these sections. They have the island, and then they got different sections of the deck, and each section comes with a couple of aircraft. and their idea was you can buy the whole thing and put the entire deck and island together and display it, and it's pretty neat. It's a pre-painted. It's almost, well, it is. It's like a toy. So if you were going to get it, put it together, fill the seams, add some photo etch rails and things like that, you could probably turn it into a really nice display model. But it is very interesting. But if you're asking what I'm thinking you're asking, yes, it would be very cool to see not only the Enterprise but other ships too, large 72 scale even sections of the ship. The you know uh, border model, they're doing that sort of thing, and they're doing it in 35th scale. They're doing an Akagi aircraft carrier bridge in a section of the flight deck in 35th scale. Now, they did a 35th scale section of a U-boat. It's a very cool kit, and they're going to follow up with this Akagi section. And I really hope it's been pretty popular so far. Lots of interest in that with the pre-orders and whatnot. This is it. And I'm really hoping there's what the model looks like. I'm really hoping that it does well for them, because I would love to see more things like this. Uh, their border is doing it in 72 scale, and TACOM is actually doing it in 72 scale. So 35th and 72 scale islands from Akagi. If that would be something you're interested in, you've got the opportunity. So assuming that does well, um, perhaps we will see more things like that from them. Uh, Show you this. This was their first model in that series. It was the Type 7C U-boat section, and this is really neat too. And it's 35th scale. So I really hope that they continue this series of model kit, because, like I said, it's very cool, and might be something that a lot of people are interested in. It opens up a lot of cool possibilities for little dioramas and vignettes and whatnot. Very nice book. Well, thank you, Randy. Credit on that goes to David Doyle, of course, as he's the author, and I kind of like it myself. I'm doing a B-25 kit. Supposedly, I'm doing two for this year's IPMS Nationals. They're having there's a display only area of the contest. So if you're not a fan of competing, or you don't want to compete, or like me, if you don't think your models are good enough, for whatever reason, if you don't like being a part of the contest, they actually are doing a separate display only area this year. So that's going to be cool. I'm going to take some of my stuff, put it in the display only area, so it'll give a lot more models to look at. And I'm hoping to pick up some tips and tricks from some more senior modelers that have been doing this a lot longer than me, and hopefully get better with my skills. So, but within that display room, there's a group of guys that are putting on a group build, a B-25 group build, and I'm building two, and they're actually the two upcoming HK models, 48 scale B-25 gun nose kits. I got early copies, and I'm about, I don't want to say halfway through, but perhaps close to halfway through with those. It's taken me a while because I'm documenting the build in video, because I'm going to put a video in here of the whole thing. And the book's really been a help to me. Just all those, considering it's a detail and action book, it's the combination of an inaction and a walk around book, which, if you have collected Squadron Signal Publications books for years, you may be familiar with the walk around books. The inaction books are primarily real pictures of the real machines. The walk around is too, but the walk around is a lot of times pictures of the machines, the aircraft, the tanks, whatever, in museums or in private collections or whatever. So, for example, in the B-25 book, David was able to go to wherever that particular one is. And he was able to crawl all around it, and you get a lot of really good interior and exterior close-up pictures that really help build the model, because in the instructions goal is to get you to get the model put together. But when you have specific questions, or you're wondering about how exactly did this fit, or what color should that be, it's a little vague in most instructions a lot of times. So these types of books really help to show you whatever it is that you're stuck on with your model. You can flip through, oh, there's a nice close-up picture. So it was a nice book, so I'm glad you like it, and I look forward to seeing your review on that. And Carlos, I would love to do this, and perhaps it's something that we can do in the future. But in the book printing world, we have contracts, and we have uh, all these different things in place with the authors, the artists, all these different things in motion. And for the longest time, for the past 50 plus years, uh, Squadron never did that. Even all the way up to the end of Texas Squadron, that was never something that was done. So when we picked up the ball with Squadron Signal and produced the now 8 books that we've done, we've kind of, in a way, just to get going again, sort of kept to the same method. We've got these deals. The very first book we did, the F-18 Hornet book, David already had that book done. It was done, and old Texas Squadron, they pulled the cord on all publications a year or two before they filed bankruptcy. So David had already done the book. It was ready to go. They pulled the plug, so he shelved it. And of course, fast forward to when we came in the picture, we got in touch with David about doing books, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to. I got your first one ready." So the contracts are already done with that. So in the future, we're going to try that out. I hope the first book that we are going to try that with and see how it goes is going to be the nose art book that Peter, our artist, and myself are working on. So I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what platform we're going to use. But that is something that we want to be able to do, so that you can see all that if you don't like hard, copy books. So keep an eye on that. We'll see how it goes in the future. But it is something that we are considering and working on, and we'll let you know. Hey, Jonathan, nice to see you too. And I'm glad you found something to use that credit on. Yeah, last week, if you didn't watch the replay or join us live for last week's show, make sure and go watch that. I got a little Christmas present at the end of it for everybody that is still valid until I guess it would be this coming Sunday. That expires on the 1st. But glad you found something you like. Was happy to do that for you. Glad you got one, Rob. And guess you're old school. Well, buddy, that's what we did the catalog for. A lot of guys really like, myself included, uh, flipping through. I mean, I've got the internet, I've got our website, I can find whatever I want there. But sometimes it's nice just to sit on the couch and flip through an old school catalog like that. So that's what we did it for. And I'm glad you got one. And I'm really glad that you enjoy that. So, yeah, James, I think the hunter scale are larger. So, like I was talking about earlier, hopefully that will be a trend that continues with the launch of the Akagi stuff, which those Akagi decks and bridges should be here in January. Don't have an exact date, but hopefully that will continue. Stuart, yeah, the I was wondering if you did. Yeah, that is definitely my favorite thing that we have ever produced. Uh, So it's a really nice addition to those kits. So, all right, I've got to show you this. This is from Pontos. And let's see. Oh, got a couple more questions. If you wonder why you ask me something and I don't see it immediately, there's some kind of delay, like a 30-second or 1 minute delay between when you guys type and when I can see it. So let's see. All right. Let's see. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff at the shop. If you want to give me a call sometime this week or next week, be happy to look. When I get back to the shop, I can search through my database, but off the top of my head, I don't know. Let's see, Joseph. The Navy's version of V-24 is a PBY, wasn't it? Or PB4Y? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, consolidated PB4Y2 privateer, if that's what you're asking about. Ah, there you go. Carlos answered it right below. If I had scrolled down a second, he answered it for me. So there you go. Yeah, and Ted, those Lifelike decals, man, those are really nice, and we've got a restock of them coming, hopefully very soon. I don't know how long. Those are made over in Japan, so it'll take a little while to get here, but we should have them in January. Been really popular, so. All right, now back to this. This is a very cool thing for me because, like I keep saying, I like ship models. This is, if you have seen the 200 scale Yamato battleship that Gallery Models did, this is a upgrade set for that kit. So let's see. This is the kit we're talking about. So the kit itself is absolutely huge. It is 200 scale. Now, if you're a fan of the Yamato, you might remember years and years ago, a company called Nichimo produced one of these in 200 scale. And when this first came out, had a lot of people asking, is this simply a reboxed Nichimo kit? And the answer is no. This kit is brand new, all new tooling, and the if you know anything about the inside secrets of the business, the factory that produces trumpeter models produces a heck of a lot of other brands for a lot of other people, like Hobby Boss, like Merit International, like Monochrome if you're in Japan. And this is another one of those kits that MRC, this is an MRC exclusive. They had a lot to do with this design, getting this to the table, and they did an excellent job with it. And if you've not seen this, make sure to check it out, whether it's something you want to buy or not. It is expensive. I am really hoping to see one of these built in person this year at a show. It's been out long enough that some of these guys that bought them, they ought to have them being finished up soon. So that's a cool kit. But this is Pontos's newest release, and this this fits the bill for what I was talking about earlier, these expensive sets. But as you can see, it's got a heck of a lot of stuff. This is the kit. We'll open it up, take a look inside. Now, the gallery kit, it does include, let's see, let me get back over here where I was a second ago. It does include some photo etch parts. Let's see, get back over there. So the kit includes quite a bit, not a ton, but it does include a lot of stuff. So you can get by just out of the box. That's no problem. But if you really want to go nuts and super detail this thing, this detail set is quite amazing. So I'll show you on the video screen. Where's my mouse? There we go. So here are your instructions. And there's your parts list. I mean, it's just got so much stuff, too much to even mention. Resin parts, brass turn parts, even has brass propellers. the way they do their instructions, it's all colored. Different colors mean different things. Gold for photo etch, for example. You got all that. Let's see. And these instructions, Kim does a really nice job laying this out. And the sets that I've used from him, I've never really had an issue knowing where something goes or how something goes together. He's usually really, really good about illustrating exactly how something works in his sets. So plug for Pontos models, not just this specific kit, but any of their upgrade sets. It's just a fantastic way to take your kit to the next level, which it's a good thing that it takes it to the next level, because in most cases, it's almost going to double the price of the kit investment. I mean, as you can see, the model kit's, $600 and something. This detail set's, over $400. So it's not cheap. But if you are the kind of guy that's got to have the absolute best, you can't go wrong with a Ponto set. And I don't know how to open a Ziploc bag. There we go. You see and these are resin cap. Oh, no, they're not. No, they're 3D printed. Yeah, 3D print blast bags. So you get that kind of stuff. And then there's your screws. And then I'm not going to open, well, I'll open the big bag and show the individual bags. There I go, ripping the bag again. All right, so you got main guns. Looks like the secondaries are in there too. Then the AA guns. You get, what is this? Perhaps pedestals. Are those shells? I don't know. It might be. Turn masts, yard arms. I mean, so much stuff in these sets. And then if that's not crazy enough, then you pull out this bag. This got so much photo etch in it. I mean, there's half a dozen sheets of photo etch in this bag. And then let's check this out. I mean, so you really, really get to take, I mean, you're basically replacing the plastic with this etched detail on the decks. And then for the wood part of the deck, it comes with a full wood deck. So just a really, really well done, well designed. All the Ponto stuff fits really well. I'll pull this back up and show you. Let's see. Can I zoom into that a little bit? Yeah. So there's, you can see all the gray stuff. That's the kit, and all the gold photo etch. That's the parts of this that are included. So just so much stuff. This is not something I'm going to build, because I'm trying to stick with 3/50th scale. But if you are a 200 scale guy and you're going to buy one of these, you have got to let me know how long it takes you to build one of these, because it's extremely impressive. I mean, look at the racks back there leading up to the catapults. It's just, everything is super, super nice on this. So those, we just got some today. Looks like I'm already down to 6 left. So they're already going. They'll, so if you want one, grab one. I'll have more. We'll get more of them, but that's going to be a really nice thing. And like I said, the Ponto stuff, not just this kit, but all of the Ponto sets, you can see they've got a lot of stuff. They're also, this is something, we just sold our last ones of these today. This is something else that Pontos is starting to do. They are taking a plastic kit, in this case, the trumpeter. LHD kit. They've got two versions of it. Pontos is buying, plastic sprues from Trumpeter in bulk, and they have come up with their own version. They've done an Essex version of it, and it includes a full detail set, just like what I just showed you with this Yamato. So this is a full detail deluxe plastic kit. It's got everything in the box, the plastic parts and all of the aftermarket stuff, all in one box. And I haven't had, I never get to keep these in stock long enough to open them up and go through them. So I've only got pictures of the sides of the boxes right now. But I mean, it's got so much stuff in it. And hopefully next time we get them in stock, I can snag one, bring it home, and take some pictures before they go out the door. But so they're starting to do that kind of stuff. And I think the first one of those that he did was this one. This is a 700 scale Yamato. And I don't remember off the top of my head which Yamato kit that he used, but he bought bulk plastic from, I don't know if it was Fujimi or whoever it was, but one of the companies that has the 700 scale kit. He got that, and then this kit includes everything that you can imagine to super detail this little 700 scale kit out. And I guess it's not that little in 700 scale. It is a big ship. But so they're starting to do that kind of stuff. I don't know what he's got coming, but I know he's got a lot of plans to do other all-inclusive kits like that. So, but he's got so much. He even started his own brand, which he calls Lighthouse Models, and he did this 250th scale Soya. Kind of an oddball, but it's been pretty popular. And so, like I said, full detail. I mean, look at all that photo etch. It would drive me crazy in a good way. But he's got all that, and then all your detail sets. I mean, if you've got, I don't know, what do we got here? Let's go up here and do 350 scale. Some of these that I've actually used. Where is the lots of different versions of Iowa class stuff? Here we go. This is a real good one. Texas, the Trumpeter 350 scale Texas kit, super detail set for it. Same concept as what I just showed you with the Yamato, just this one's for the 350 Texas, and really nice stuff. So if you're a ship modeler and you've never tried a Ponto set, yes, they're expensive, but they're well worth it if you consider the amount of detail and the level of upgrade compared to the out of the box plastic. So check those out. Lots to choose from there, and hope you find something that you like. And they're coming out with new stuff all the time, and really good stuff. And they're not the only company doing that. We carry some other brands too. KA Models, they do that kind of thing. Infinity Models. There's a lot of companies that do this, but Pontos in particular has just really always been kind of towards the top, if you will. I'm friends with all these guys, so I don't want to put any of them down. They all do excellent work. But I guess Pontos is on my mind this week because we just got a shipment from them. I guess when I get my next KA Models restock, it'll be all about KA Models that night. So anyway. Joseph, the PB4Y, there have been kits. Yes, I don't know what I currently have. I'll have to look. I know there's been 72 scale versions of it. Probably Revell or Monogram or Academy. Yeah, I know what you mean, buddy. Yeah, James, it really does. I'm excited to see somebody use one of these and build it because it's really just going to be impressive. All right, Carlos. Okay, Revell and Matchbox in 72 scale. That makes sense. Yeah, Stuart, 5 star. That's another brand that does the super deluxe upgrade, whatever we're calling them. A lot of theirs are 700 scale, which apparently is what you've got for the Maryland, or obviously what you've got for the Maryland. So yeah, they do a lot of good stuff too. So glad you got one of those. Mark, reprinting it, probably not, but doing a new version on the same subject, the F4 Phantom, definitely a possibility. We've been we've been trying to limit ourselves to a certain number of books each year, and for the last 2 years, this year and last year, that number was four. Um, it might be for next year. So I don't know. It just depends. But that is definitely one of the subjects on our to-do list. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully soon in the future. Yeah, Carlos, that is right. The Academy kit, and the interesting thing about that was when they did that was actually I think their uh, first one of these. Let's see if I can find it real quick. The interesting thing about it was that they didn't make their own box for that. So let's see here. Here it is. They literally used the Academy kit. They bought them in bulk. They literally used the Academy box and just put a sticker on it. So it worked out. It was the same concept. You basically got the Academy kit with the Ponto set, and that was a they marketed it as a deluxe kit. So that was interesting, but obviously that did good for them, and they started doing their own boxes like they did with the Yamato and now the Essex. So hopefully they continue that trend. It'll be nice to see what they come up with. So, well, guys, I try to keep this to an hour. I've gone past that the last 2 weekends, so I guess I should possibly change my expectations to tick over an hour. But I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. This is becoming something that I look forward to every week, hanging out with all of you and just talking about models, seeing what you guys are working on, showing you off new things, and not necessarily new things, but things that I find interesting. And that's like I always say, that's one of my favorite parts about going to the model shows. One of my favorite parts about having you guys that do live in the area come by the warehouse, being able to talk about kits that we're interested in. Because if you found a cool kit that you like that I didn't know about, I might want to know about it. And I'm hoping that I can continue to show you things that perhaps you didn't know about, or if you did know about it, perhaps you didn't know how cool they were, or at least I think they're cool. So I really do enjoy this, and I'm looking forward to this next week and many weeks after that. Next week, like I said, we're going to go to Chattanooga, and uh, assuming that I have good internet service at the show, what I would like to do, and I don't know what time, it just depends on when we get set up and everything. Perhaps Friday night, because the show is Friday and Saturday, I may do a live stream from the show Friday night, just to, if you're not able to be there, just to show it to you, just so you can see what a show. Maybe you've never been to a model show. Maybe you've got an opportunity to drive an hour or two to one, but you don't really know what it's about, so you don't really want to commit the time to go. I'd like to do a live stream from the show because many of the IPMS shows, they're kind of the same in a manner of speaking. There's vendors to shop. There's a contest. So that the format is very similar. The difference, obviously, being where you are, the venue that it's held at, obviously, and the host chapter. But the format is very similar wherever you go. So I'd like to show that to you, so that if you've got an IPMS show within driving distance, perhaps you can get hooked up with that IPMS club, meet some other modelers, and we can continue to have this hobby continue into the future, because that's what it's all about. We want to see this hobby grow, and being a part of a community like this, like we're creating on Wednesday nights now, that's a big part of it. So anyway, next Friday night, I don't know what time. Next Wednesday, I will know by next Wednesday when I'll do it. So next Wednesday night, I'll tell you what I'm planning on. And of course, when I get there, we'll see if it can actually happen based on internet service and, setup time and all that. But that'll be something that I'd like to show you guys so you can see what that's all about. So, um, again, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Hope you have a happy new year. watch some fireworks, build some models, and have a good time with your family. I really appreciate you, and I will see you again next Wednesday. Take it easy.